Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sabansu, and welcome you guys to another episode of the DREAMERSPRO show. We cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. This is a show I'm going to really enjoy, but before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Also, we have a survey that we want you guys to fill out, only take 2 to 3 minutes, and also you have an opportunity to win some Amazon gift cards. We have that pinned in the comments, so appreciate it if you filled that out, and have an opportunity to win some prizes. Anyway, let me get into this topic here. So this is a topic that I came across. It was actually suggested to me on my homepage on YouTube, and it was an episode, or a clip, excuse me, from the sit down from the Mind the Game podcast with Lebron James and JJ Redick. The podcast is doing very well. I think they're heading towards 600,000 subscribers, and I think they're going to be at 1 million in no time. So obviously it's a well thought out, organized podcast, and it shows that it's something that LeBron really wanted to discuss, because the guy, I'm sure, could be doing 1,000,001 things and decided, hey, I'm gonna X out a block of time to dedicate to just talk basketball on this podcast here. So kudos to them. So there was a particular clip, and it had the thumbnail about LeBron says hell no to F no to analytics. Now, if you guys know anything, analytics has taken over the NBA. All right, it's taken over the NBA, and it really started with Mike D'Antoni and these guys, but now it seems to be the new wave, especially with the advent of the Stephen Curry Splash Brothers with Klay Thompson and these guys, and them experiencing championship success. So knowing that the NBA is a copycat league, all the other teams started following suit, and now teams are averaging above 32 to 33 three-point attempts per game. And just to put that into context, in the late 90s, teams were averaging less than 15 three-pointers a game. So just imagine how far the NBA has come in terms of this advent of the three-point ball. So during this particular clip, they were talking about essentially the power of the transition three off of a fast break. And they were discussing, coaches always tell players, wide out. Instead of running to the basket, you now run to the corners to get the three-point shot. So they were discussing this. And then in the midst of discussing this, LeBron, who's listening to JJ Redick paint the picture, he then gets to a point where he's listening to the numbers, and then he brings up the situation with the Houston Rockets in the playoffs. And you could tell that this way of thinking with the threes has become so dogmatic that it takes out the common sense out of basketball. And it got to a particular point in the conversation where LeBron says there's going to come a time where you have to say F no to analytics. And I thought it was beautiful, because we needed a person of this stature to come out there and say something like this. So for those of you who didn't hear LeBron James comment on this, want to play what LeBron had to say about this now, and then want to come back and react to LeBron James's comments. Take a listen to what he had to say here.
Let's call 18 to 24 seconds on the shot clock. Let's call that early shot clock. Yep. Okay. First 6 seconds of the shot clock. In 2014, 2015, the average team for this season took 322 total threes in the first 6 seconds of the shot clock.
Okay. What is this? You said 13, 14?
Yeah,
okay.
14, 15. 5 teams attempted below 200 total threes for the season in the first 6 seconds of the shot clock.
Yep.
Last season's data, that number was up by 100 total threes, basically 420 total threes.
Yep.
Half the league attempted 400 or more total threes in the first 6 seconds of the shot clock. That's the other thing that has changed the most, is when you get a defensive stop, and I don't care where the you are on the court when you get this stop, where are people running?
Yeah, run wide. That's all you hear.
Run wide to the three-point line.
That's it.
Okay, right? So these early shot clock threes, you know what the average effective field goal percentage on that is? Same thing, 55%.
Really?
It's a good shot. I
can't wrap my head around it. Am I too old school? I don't want to say old school, but am I too still like in my ways of?
Okay. Hold on a second. Hold on. I'm gonna give you something here, though.
Zero pass shots?
I'm gonna give you something here, though. I'm gonna give you something. You got guys running wide.
Correct.
Running the corner. This is you with the ball.
Yeah.
This is Giannis with the ball.
Yeah.
This is Ja Morant with the ball.
Space.
What does that give you?
So much space. Early attacks.
There's a reason that you motherfuckers are averaging like 10 fast break points a game.
Early attacks.
This shot is worth 1.5 more than this shot. If you can make it.
If you can make it.
If you can make it.
So what happens when?
No, the value of this versus the value of this versus the value of this.
So what happens when?
Why do you think you guys have a good offense?
Houston Rockets missed 25 or 28 straight threes.
Have you seen it happen since?
I have not. I have not. How many did they miss in a row?
27.
27 straight threes.
27.
And they kept shooting them.
Yeah.
It's not like all of them was only three-point shooters. It's not like they had 5 Craig Hodgeses on their team or 5 Steve Kerrs on the floor, where that's all they can do is shoot threes. They had guys that can. Eric Gordon, you can get into the paint. James Harden, you can get into the paint.
But you're making a valid point.
Well, why?
You're making a valid point, and I want to acknowledge your point. You still have to be a basketball player.
Thank you.
You still have to read the game.
That's all.
You
That's
still
all
have
I
to
ask.
understand.
That's all I ask.
Time and score. So
there's a time and place where analytics should be like, get the out.
Yeah.
So you heard what LeBron James had to say there. First of all, I love what he said, because as LeBron was listening to JJ go through the numbers, he said, but wait a minute. Basketball is a game you also think. It's a game that you think, and sometimes you have to think the game. For example, if you're so bought into 3s and 2s, guess what you miss out on? Number one, not exploiting mismatches. Because, for example, you may see a player like Joel Embiid standing at the 3-point line taking 3s. That's a bad shot. Why? Because Joel Embiid is more of a threat when he's posting up. Because with post-ups, you can collapse the defense, you can draw double teams, you can get the hockey assist, you can get players moving, you get the strong side, you load the strong side, and all type of good things happen. But whenever you now become so focused on shooting 3s, number one, you take away that threat. Number two, you take away your size advantage. And number three, by you standing further out by the 3-point line, if a shot gets missed, guess what? Chances of you corralling that offensive rebound totally disappear, unless you have some guys that can really box out, right? So to me, there's a time and place for analytics, and I'm glad that LeBron said this. Sometimes you have to think the game, and I think at times it doesn't happen. You've seen scenarios in which teams are on a 3-on-1 fast break, one defender's back, and they're running out to the 3-point line instead of running for the easy 2. That's dumb basketball. I don't care how you slice it, because the strategy that you deploy, also you should have a contingency where, okay, certain situations must dictate certain actions. It can't be, we're going to run this, we're going to run this, we're going to run this, regardless of the situation on the court. That just doesn't make any sense. And that's what LeBron was saying. He said, listen, these guys missed 27 straight 3s. Don't you think it was time to try something? Maybe after 15, try something different. And finally, people keep talking about the 3-point shot and all of this. One of the most dangerous and hardest shots to guard in the NBA is a mid-range jump shot, pull-up jump shot. In fact, if you're a great mid-range player, you're going to feast in these playoffs, because teams are going to be closing out on those 3s. You're not going to get that open space that you get in the regular season. That's why you see a lot of those guys, for example, a Norman Powell, who's hitting a boatload of 3-point shots in the regular season, is not really getting those looks in the playoffs. So if you can get to that mid-range, if you can pump fake, dribble, pull up, shoot, you can be effective. That's why you see players with like Ant Edwards, Kawhi Leonard, and so many other great players. You see players being able to play out the mid post, high post, like Luka Doncic, like Nikola Jokic. These guys are effective. They're not just 3-point shooters and guys standing at the basket ready to get a layup. So to me, man, I am very, very happy that LeBron James went out there and said that, because this analytics thing is beginning to get too nauseating to the point where it's just one big 3-point shooting contest. And to me, listen, I like the 3, it's exciting, but come on, every single time, come on, man, it's a little bit too much. These are just my thoughts. What I want to know from you guys, what do you think about the argument that LeBron James put forward? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. We catch you guys on the next show. Peace.